Hello everybody, I hope that you are well, healthy and safe.
A critical incidence. This presentation is prepared by me, Yousif Ahmed. In this presentation, we'll cover this point. What are critical incidents? Why analyze critical incidents and how to analyze critical incidents? How to identify critical incidents? Let's begin with what are critical incidents. A critical incident is something which we interpret as a problem or challenge in a certain context. It is not routine occurrence. For example, when a student constantly arrives late in the class, or when some students make noise while teachers are teaching, etc. A critical incident is defined by different scholars in different ways. Some of them are presented here. A critical incident is any planned and unanticipated event that occurs during the class or outside the class or during teacher's career but is vividly remembered. Brookfield. Similarly, Richard and Farwell mention that a critical incident is an unplanned and unanticipated event that occurs during a lesson and that serves to trigger insights about some aspect of the teaching and learning. They say that critical incident analysis refer to the documentations and analysis of the teaching incidents in order to learn from them and improve practice. This process of documentation and reflections provide opportunity for teachers to learn more about their teaching, their learners, and themselves. Teachers make it critical because they think it's important and want to utilize it for future reference. In other words, teachers sometimes face some unexpected situations which make them surprised. They take such a situation to be a critical because they learn something from them. When something goes wrong in the classroom or outside classroom, teachers need to ask what happened and what caused to happen. Now let's watch this video are a good examples about the critical incidents.
It's clear to us it's focused on the human science. Does anybody have any question, please? I take this class, everything is always broken.
How hard is it to turn our projector?
That's all we have today. See you tomorrow.
See you. See you later.
Goodbye.
Hello, teacher.
Hello.
Well, I want to talk to you about my falling grades.
Okay, let me check it. Your lab homework are really good, but your exam are not.
Yeah, well, about that, I have this documentation from the Office of Disability Services.
Why you don't tell me about that at the beginning of this semester?
Well, I know, but I really wanted to try to see if I like it on my own, my own without the extra help of time. I know policy is policy. Is there anything I can do?
Hmm. These types of the incidents can be called critical incidents because they are unexpected and they promote teachers to stop and think about the meaning of such event so that they improve their teaching in the future. All incidents that take place in a classroom may not be critical. A particular event becomes a critical incident depending on how it is interpreted. Sometimes teachers themselves come to interpret an incident to be a critical. Sometimes they take help of their students. Why analyze a critical incident? Analysis of a critical incidents help teachers know more about how they teach. It also helps them to question their own teaching practice, which enable them to develop professionally. The main purpose of analyzing a critical incident is to identify a good practices of teaching a teacher is adopting. It also aims to identify those practices which are not working well. According to the Richards and Frohl, analyzing a critical incident facilitates teachers' professional development in the following ways. The first point, it can create a greater level of the self-awareness. When teachers are analyzing critical incidents they encounter in their classes, they become more aware of what they are doing. As a result, they can notice a gap between what they are doing and what they are supposed to do. It can promote an evaluation of established routines and procedures. They may be some techniques or strategies of teaching preferred by the teachers or an institution which have become the established routines. It means they are the procedures taken from the granted. But when the teacher analyzes the critical incidents, he or she can evaluate such routinized techniques on the basis of how his or her students are supposed to do these techniques. It can encourage teachers to pose a critical question about the teaching. It can also help bring beliefs to the level of the awareness. It can create opportunity for action research. Also, it can help build a community of the critical practitioners. And the last point, it can provide a resource for teachers. When teachers keep a record of the critical incidents of their classes, these complications can be used as a resource by both new teachers and experienced teachers, and these complications can be used as a reference for future professional development. Now, how to analyze critical incidents? Scholars have given a different frameworks to analyze critical incidents. Tribe has suggested that there are two stages to understanding critical incidents. The first stage is to describe the incidents. For example, what aspect. This is the description phase. In this phase, a specific phenomenon or issue is observed and documented. A second stage is to explain its meaning. For example, when we're asking about why aspects, in this phase, this issue is explained by the teachers in terms of its meaning or value. It also interpreted in the term of the role it plays. When teachers report the critical incidents, they should follow a certain steps. The first steps is self-observations and describing what happened. The last one is self-awareness. In the process of the analyzing and preparing a report of the critical incidents, teachers often need to reflect on the critical incidents. The following question can help the teachers reflect on the critical incidents. For example, why was this incident significant to you? And what happened directly before event? And what happened directly after the event? Now, let's talk about how to identify critical incidents. Most of the critical incidents occur in classroom, but some critical events influence the teacher's personal and professional life. According to the Freeman, it is necessary for teachers to put themselves at the center of the telling their life stories. He says that it's follow a jazz maxim. You have to know the story in order to tell the story. Brookfield emphasized the use of the critical incidents questionnaire in order to identify the feeling of the student regarding teaching, out of which teachers can identify which incidents is critical and which is not from the word of student. For example, what action that anyone took this weekend did you find most puzzling or confusing? Another example, what about the class this weekend surprised you the most? Conclusion. For the successful implementation of the critical incidents analysis, different aspects should be considered. For example, who the audience for the analysis is, whether we need to write about all the incidents, etc., etc. All the incidents are not critical. We interpret a certain incident to be critical depending on the situations and the purpose. Another equally important thing to be considered is whether the teachers decided any incidents to be critical for analyzing it, or they collect their students' relevant feeling to choose from, and so on. Those critical incidents is unplanned and unexpected event that occur during the lesson. The report of the critical incidents can be added in teacher portfolio to show the evidence of how he or she changed some practices of teaching being used. Teachers learn from their analysis of critical incidents and improve their ways of teaching. These are the references were used in this presentation. The end. For any question you can email me and I can answer you. thank you for watching.